Geoff's America, so much more than politics. New episodes every Monday. Check it out and subscribe at papajeffusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Papa Geoff's America, continuing the conversation, one podcast at a time. You do know that disagree doesn't mean dislike, right? No, really. It's OG time in Houston, Texas, around the country and around the world. Welcome to the Papa Geoff's America program. We're continuing the conversation one podcast at a time. We're so much more than politics. Conversation about mindfulness, positivity, health and wellness, stuff and things about taking care of each other. Things you want to talk about with commentary, insightful guests, and what would a day be without Papa Geoff's classic old guy humor, right? So, with one sort of kind of good eye, a very, some would say, unique sense of humor, and definitely a face for radio. Here's Mr. Here We Go himself, the G-Man, PG, the OG, Papa Geoff. Hey everybody, I'm Papa Geoff. Welcome to the Papa Geoff's America program. It's time to continue the conversation, one podcast at a time. What does it take to have a confident marriage? Well, today we continue on in our updated format of positive interviews, insightful discussions, and relevant information that helps us all, because we're all in this together. Now, I know you're really going to enjoy today's conversation. On Wednesday, December the 16th, I sat down virtually with Jessica and Sean Weeks. They are the husband and wife co-hosts of the Confident Marriage podcast. So as we asked you in the intro of this block, what does it take to have a confident marriage? Well, let me tell you, these two are the real deal. They've got some tried and true ideas and experiences about trust, faith, respect, and understanding. They've got the been there, done that. There's just so much I can say about these two. They're definitely in it together for the long haul. And we had a great conversation, and I know you're really going to enjoy it as well. I can't wait to have them on again. The Papa Geoff's America program, continuing the conversation, one podcast at a time. It is 59 degrees and sunny at the OG Radio Studios in Space City, H-Town, Houston, Texas, the city with no limits. This is the Papa Geoff's America program on the OG Radio Network. Jess and Sean Weeks, The Confident Marriage, when we come back. I'm Papa Geoff, and this is OG Radio. Hey guys, welcome back to the Papa Geoff's America program. We welcome today some new friends, and I feel like old friends already, in keeping with our positivity, mindfulness, health and wellness, back from the paramedic days, health and wellness, and just general stuff and things about we're all in this together. Today we've got a husband and wife podcast co-host couple with us today. We've got, and if I get this wrong in the order that I'm introducing you, I sincerely apologize, but I'm Jessica and Sean Weeks. They are co-hosts of The Confident Marriage. I'll get cards and letters from people that, well, now it's all electronic, but cards and letters from people that say you should have put the man's name first. Well, I apologize. Jessica and Sean co-host The Confident Marriage, and they speak from experience. I followed some of their stuff. It's really good stuff. And I got to tell you that the intro music is one of the things that I'm going to ask you guys about, because I think it's obviously original, and the intro music is very cool. I like that. But Jessica, Sean, welcome to the program. Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you, and thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So on your website, and guys, we're going to give you all the contact information to find these guys as we go along here, and we'll also have it in our show notes where you can look these guys up and get in contact with them. Your website says that your podcast is dedicated to no fluff, funny and real straightforward tips and hacks for marriage and family life. And what else do you need, right? I mean, if you can get what I guess I would call tricks of the trade to make your marriage better, why wouldn't you want to do that? And you guys have a lot of good stuff going for you. I admire what you're doing. You you're definitely in a niche market, what in my day they called niche, but in a niche market, and you guys doing it together, I think, is very unique as well because you're talking about stuff that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and you're sharing your actual life experiences, and I think that's great. I would call it kind of peer counseling, but Jessica, you've got some stuff going on in the professional world coming up. But tell me about the intro music that I'm so impressed with. Tell us about that.
Well, so I had dabbled a little bit with music and I guess rap and hip hop, if you want to call it that, back in my younger days. Maybe about 15 years ago. And me and a buddy of mine used to record our own original songs, and I would write and he would mix the beats and we'd record them. So when Jess started the whole podcast thing, she had asked me to come up with the intro song. So it had been, like I said, about 15 years before I'd done it, since I'd done anything like that. So I sat down and tried to get back in the mindset of my younger days and tried to gear the lyrics in a way that presented what the show was about and the message we were trying to send, and came up with what I came up with, and
we recorded it, and that's it.
I think it's awesome, and our audience, I know, is going to love it because they're going to definitely want to check out the podcast. We're going to provide them all the information to do that, and they're gonna love the intro music too. I think original music and what we do, it's part of your brand, it's part of you, and the Confident Marriage, I can say, is going places for sure. And so kudos on your even though it was back in your younger days. I got a lot of stuff that was going on back in my younger days that I've been able to bring forward. So kudos to your musical talent. And you that's what you guys are doing, is you're bringing your talents together to produce this podcast. And I just think it's great. I consider it, like I said, I would call it peer counseling, and it's experience based. It's got that been there, done that, and people look at that and they trust that. They say, well, Jess and Sean have been through this, so yeah, we should listen to them for sure. Is that kind of, I'm assuming you guys kind of get that back in your feedback and stuff like that?
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest polls that our audience has, is that they love that we have the experience and the knowledge. We've failed and we have succeeded, and we know what works and what doesn't. And one of the things that we really stand strong on is that you could have a textbook idea of how to handle a situation, but when you really get down into the nitty-gritty of it, when you start getting your hands dirty, all that textbook goes out the window. And when you have to go through those situations, you really discover the things that actually work in real time in real life. And that's what Sean and I bring to the table. That's what we thrive on, is our experience, and not just, someone can go through a situation and want advice from someone who's never been there, and it doesn't fit, because it doesn't actually fit the situation unless you've actually experienced it. And that's what we bring to the table. That's what we thrive on. That's what we offer our audience. And people tell us all the time that they love that we're honest, and we are. We're very open. We're very out there. We've got nothing to hide. We don't want to hide anything. So we want people to know that marriages can go through some tough times and make it through.
Yeah, I think what is it that people say? There's no substitute for practical experience. And
Exactly.
I mean, everything we've talked about comes from a place of, we've gone through it before, and we've tried so many different things and researched so much. And it's kind of like that whole take what works and leave the rest. And I know there's a lot of cookie cutter programs out there and a lot of marriage programs that offer similar similar ideas, but what we've found is you kind of have to take a little bit from everything
Mm-hmm.
and mix it together and find it in a way that works for you and your relationship. So, like I said, we speak from experience, and hopefully we went through what we went through so that some people won't have to.
Yeah.
I agree. The best chefs in the world have original recipes. They know the basic stock of what it takes to make the cake, shall we say, but the custom recipes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't want to use that. That doesn't work. I've tried that. Like you said, the been there, done that, practical experience. That's what works. And some people may want that cookie cutter type of, and hey, that's fine. But we're all different. And so,
Mm-hmm.
no, I think that's great. Bringing stuff to the table and having um, people want to listen to you because you have been there and you have done that, and know what works and know what doesn't work. They happened to ask me that when I was doing my boards to become a paramedic to get into school, and I was older at the time. I told you guys that off the air. And one of the questions they asked me, and I had been at the service for several years, and they said, Papa Jeff, we don't want to upset you. Yes, that's where Papa Jeff came from, because I was the old guy that worked with the young people at the 911 service. So that's where Papa Jeff was born. And Papa Jeff, we don't want to offend you, but you're kind of old to be getting into this. Why are you doing this? And I said, well, I got a lot of life experience. I know a lot about what doesn't work. And
Mm-hmm.
so it, obviously I used it to my advantage, but it was the truth. And, I've been through things just as you have, and nope, been there, done that. That won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, or at least didn't work for me. So if you want to try it, you're on your own. But I think you guys are definitely on to something here. I'll share with you, if I may, just a quick story, um, which I actually saw in the group that we both or we all belong to of our podcast hosting service. And I believe, if I recall correctly, that your original post was asking about numbers and downloads and such. And we all tend to focus on the numbers, and I do as well. Although I try to stay away from them, and I practice you be you. Which I gotta be me for sure, and I encourage everybody that I can to just be you. The numbers are the numbers. Don't focus too much on being an audio engineer. I mean, unless that's your thing and that's really what you want. People want, yeah, they want to be able to hear you, they want to be able to understand you, but they also want the quality content. And that's what most folks in the podcast world are trying to strive for. But where I was going with that was, there was a gentleman who posted several months back that he was down about the numbers, and I don't know why I'm doing this. And he had actually done his, as I can recall, for several years, and he was just getting real down on himself. And I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And he got encouragement from his family, and he continued to do it and continued to do it. And one day, someone came up to him and told him, thank you so much for doing this, for not giving up. I know there was probably time after time after time where you could have given up and you didn't. And I'm glad that you didn't, because there was that time that I was thinking of committing suicide. And I listened to one of your podcasts, and because of the message in that podcast, I decided not to do it. So thank you so much for keeping on, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
And that person that came to him was one of his own kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got me. And I said, okay, no matter what the numbers are here, if we can get to that one person, and it makes a difference to one person, and we're able to do it within our financial means and everything that we have set out in our family lives and everything, if we're keeping to our own goals of we can reach that one person, then we've done what we've been called to do here. So I tend to digress, but you guys are definitely onto something here. I have just a quick note here that I noted that Jess is a strong, powerful, independent, confident woman. And I've never met her personally, guys. I've only read her works and seen her videos, and the confidence part is what really stands out to me. And I watched a video of hers not too long ago where she talks about vision boards. And we've all seen vision boards or had vision boards, and she has a little bit different take on how her vision board was done. But Jess, if you could take a minute and just talk about you had I can't remember if it was a quote or a picture or something that was on there that talked about a confident woman, and you used that on your vision board to gain more confidence in what you were doing. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Sure. So I recreated the vision board to really cultivate what people need in their life. And that's motivation. That's being able to see their life, their future life in front of them and not just in their mind. And to be able to cultivate that in real time. So the way that I do the vision board is I use a cork board and pins instead of paste and glue, because ultimately you want to take that off your board and put it in a keepsake box and replace it with a new task, a new want, a new need, a new desire. So you could use pictures, anything that stands out to you. You could use words. And so there was a time where when Sean and I were going through some of our worst times, that confidence was a really low thing for me. And I really needed to work on it. And so when I was creating my vision board, I put the word confidence on there. And every day when I got up and every day when I was doing my work, my schoolwork, my work at home, working with the kids, I would constantly see it. And I would remind myself, I am confident. I am worthy. And that vision board was my constant reminder of who and what I wanted to be. And over a period of time, as you are constantly putting that in front of yourself and you're reminding yourself on a daily basis, and you're aware of what your goals and your wants and your needs and desires are, it starts to become. And so over the course of months, I had become more confident in myself. I had started taking better care of myself. I had started feeling healthier mentally and emotionally. And I was able to really set my boundaries and become a different woman. And before I knew it, it hadn't even been a year yet. And I looked at my vision board and realized I had accomplished confidence. And I was able to take that off my vision board and replace it with something new that I wanted to do.
And now it's in the box, and you can go back and you can reflect on it when you choose to go back and see where you were and what you were striving for, right?
Exactly. So when the way that the vision board works, and the way that I've recreated it, is when you take it off the board, you put a sticky note on it and you write down on the sticky note how you have accomplished that goal. And then you put it in a box. It's just a regular cardboard box. It's nothing really special. And you keep it. And throughout time, you can look through your box and see all that you've accomplished and reflect. You can even bring things back out and rework on them if there's something that you want to readdress, or maybe something happened and you don't feel like you have that trait or that want that thing anymore. A lot of people look at the vision boards as trying to go for material things. I more focus on traits, skills, dreams, desires. So, like I said, confidences could be one of them. Maybe you want to quit smoking. Maybe you want to lose weight. Maybe you want to be more successful at your job. Maybe you want to be kinder. Maybe you want to be more present in your community. Whatever that is, you could use words or pictures and really cultivate whatever it is and you want in your life. And it's not just material things, but yes, you can definitely do material things.
I think that's great, and I'm glad that it works for you, and it continues to work for you. And I would encourage everyone, do some type of something like that, to because everybody's on a path to somewhere.
Yeah.
Some people have no idea where they're going, and I guess that's okay. Some folks, my 17-year-old, She's college doesn't start until September of next year. And she was just recently accepted into University of Houston, and she's all freaked out about getting paperwork done. Honey, slow down. But that's her. She's got it down. She knows what she wants to do. She knows what she wants to end up with coming out the other side, and she's got it down. And so although I'm a planner, I'm still not that far ahead. But I think having stuff down in front of you, and especially like you said, it's in your office, your workplace, that you can see it every day. When you're continually exposed to it, it's gonna sink in.
It
And
is. There's a psychology behind it, 100%.
and speaking of psychology, that's a great segue. You are almost ready to start an internship, or maybe you've started it already, going towards your counseling goals. What's happening there?
I'm very close. So I'm working towards my licensed marriage and family therapist degree. Well, it's a license. I'm at the tail end of working on the master's part of it, and then I will be doing my internship, which is part of becoming a licensed marriage and family therapist. And thereafter, I will be opening my own practice and continuing my podcast and the work Sean and I are doing.
That's great. Where do you find time for family and everything in there? There is no time.
There is. I make time if it means that I am home with both my kids right now. We have a almost 5-year-old,
Almost 5.
very rambunctious 4-year-old boy,
He's
and
and a 15 and a half-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning, and I go to bed about 10:30, unless I have more work to do. But it's the kids all day. And then when I get some time to break away, maybe my son wants to watch a little TV, or he's busy with his toys, or he's painting or something, I can sneak away and get some work or schoolwork done and then go back to it. And it's a balancing act, and it's just back and forth all day long and being patient.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Sean. Jump in there.
Say, as her vision board presents one of the core ideas that we carry and that we try to bring with our podcast and we try to uphold in our own marriage, that you should be constantly working on yourself, no matter what that work is, but constantly trying to improve. Not so much that you have to end up being perfect, but it's that constant struggle to try to improve yourself that builds character and grows you into the person you want to be. But one of our other core beliefs is that you need to have balance in your life. And Jess is incredibly busy with everything she has going on. I am incredibly busy with my career too, but it's a constant struggle for us to find that balance between family and home and each other and our careers and the podcast, and everything is about balance. I like to look at it as you have a certain finite amount of energy that you can put into things. And if you're putting too much energy into one thing, there's something that's not getting enough of your energy. So it's all about finding that balance. Mm-hmm. Jess is probably better at it than I am.
Sometimes.
Oh, I hear you. My wife is much better at a lot of things than I am, and I am very quick to admit that. That is, we work well together, and it's, but complimenting each other and acknowledging each other's strengths as opposed to just noting out each other's weaknesses. I think better to stay positive. My first marriage was 37 years, and it had its ups and downs, as all marriages do. And then that ended, unfortunately, in a death. And now I'm on the second marriage, and we are 2 years in, and a little bit of a challenge that she is 15 years younger than I am. Go Papa. And so it's a bit of a challenge, because even to the point of some of the I can bring up, say, something on a TV show that I grew up with, and she has no idea what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And or there's a group or something that my daughters are listening to, and they bring that up, and I feel like my parents when these kids are listening to this rock and roll, it's terrible, and they're talking about people that I have no idea who these people are. They can. How come you can tell me everything that's going on with the Kardashians, but you're having trouble with your geometry? So definitely got the parent thing in there going on, but No, you guys are doing great. I so appreciate your work that you're doing. And now, Sean, with you continuing on in your career, and Jess, you bringing the alphabet soup going to come in after your name sometime soon, and then keeping the podcast going, tying everything in together. I'm sure. I think that's great. And I know you guys have some new stuff coming up for 2021. You guys have a workshop that's coming up, and I know it's on your website, theconfidentmarriage.com. But tell us about your workshop that's coming up.
Well, we're really excited about it. So we're putting together a workshop starting the first week of January, and it is cornerstones, the 4 cornerstones that create the foundation of a confident marriage. And we have our 4 cornerstones: honesty. Oh my God, now I'm starting to have a brain fart. Honesty, admiration, intentionality, and expectations. So we're going to be covering a topic a week. Well, we're going to be covering a topic each month. One of the 4 cornerstones at the beginning of the month. We'll do a podcast on it. And for people that sign up to the workshop, we're going to focus on one cornerstone each month, and there'll be 4 weeks worth of material that deal with the 4 aspects of each cornerstone. And there will be assignments and questions and activities that they'll do with their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So couples can do it together, and it's all virtual. So from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, they have the option of doing this.
Exactly. So when they sign up for the workshop, they'll be emailed the packet at the beginning of each week. And that packet will contain the material of that week's assignments and for the pieces of that cornerstone. And so in addition to that, the beginning of the month will be the podcast on that cornerstone. So they'll be able to reference that as well. Once they're done with the work, they are welcome to email it to Sean and I. We will review the work and see what questions or concerns, or if they just want us to take a look at their answers and their writing assignment and see where we might feel that they can focus their attention on some areas. And then we'll do a 10-minute personalized video to them and email it to them. Sorry, I decided to come out right at the wrong moment.
No, that's absolutely fine. And I understand, because I'm still watching a lot of the political stuff. There's a group or a site on Twitter called Room Rater, RATER, and the people that do that particular Twitter feed, they actually take pictures of people that are brought on as guests onto political shows. And so it would be someone that's in the government or someone that's an attorney general or someone, whatever. And all of a sudden the cat comes in, or the dog walks in, or the kids walk in, or they rate the backgrounds that they have. And certain people put certain things in the background, depending on the topic they're talking about. And then they get a rating, and it's really cool. So no, when we're in the time of the COVID and everybody's working at home, and that is absolutely fine. That's part of what we do. When we start on recording an episode, we just go with it because it's formatted out as if it were a live radio show, and what happens. So no, everything is cool. So they can sign up for your workshop on your website at theconfidentmarriage.com.
Correct.
And you guys also do a newsletter, I know, and there's a place on your website where you can sign up and also, I believe, get early access to your content. But there's also something in there that I happen to see, and if Sean's still with us, maybe he can talk about Sean's weekly words of wisdom. I know is something new that's coming out. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'll take over for him. He did step away and try to calm our little one down. He got a little frustrated with his older sister. So Sean's weekly words of wisdom is pretty much his little quirk from the man who's done almost everything wrong, which is not true. He's an amazing person, but he has a lot of experience and a lot of hope to speak from his heart. And so in those weekly newsletters, he talks about the things that he has experienced as a husband, as a father, trying to juggle that in his career and in the past his education. And so these are things that he has struggled with, and he wants to get out to other men how to balance those things, how to feel successful in those things, and little tips and things that he's done that he has found that has been successful for him. So he's back. I'll let him finish explaining his column.
And speaking of family and balance, and to take care of the kids there for a second.
No, I think that's great. That's part of all what family is about. And I don't think you've heard it in the room that I'm in so far. The family knows that I'm recording, and there's a sign on the door that says recording. But I have my recording partner in here is my 11-year-old Saint Bernard, and she sleeps. She's the corporate officer in charge of naps, and so she sleeps a lot. And sometimes she snores really loud. So if you were to hear snoring in the background, that's her. So I go through it too. I know exactly what you're saying. That's fine. We were just talking about Sean's weekly words of wisdom, and she has said absolutely great things about you. But if you want to jump in there, please do.
Yeah, so it's called Weekly Words of Wisdom. It's a weekly column that comes out in our newsletter that are for subscribers only. But we also post it on, We also post it on the website. So the subtitle of it was Words of Wit from the Man Who's Done Almost Everything Wrong. So I try to take something from the podcast that we've done that week, the topic that we've done that week, and put my own spin on it, talk about some of the mistakes I've made, some of the things that I've learned, and some of the actions I've taken to help in those areas. So again, coming from the real life experience, the practical experience, the trial and error, what's worked, what hasn't. And I try to speak real and from my heart in it.
I think that's great. And I am looking forward to seeing those as we move on here in the future. I have a quote that I know you guys are going to know this, but again, it's on your website, Jess. It's a quote from you. And it says, when you can show and share your ugly, be completely vulnerable and raw with your partner, that is power. That is a confident marriage. And I think that is absolutely true. That comes from the heart. That is, and I think that's why it's so, you guys are in the right spot. You're where you're supposed to be right now, and you're sharing your experiences with people. And I know people are growing in their marriages because of it. And it may even change the path of someone that they were thinking of one thing, and now they're hearing your content and they may change their mind and say, you know what, that wasn't going to work. Let's do this. So you guys definitely have an impact. And I think that's great. And that's our goal here, is to get content that is out to our audience that is pertinent, that's going to empower them. And so we want to get you guys some more subscribers through this, and hopefully our audience will subscribe to your content. We want to get the content out there. It's obviously it's helped me already, and I thank you for that. And we want to get the word out to our people as well as your people. So we ask our people here in the Papa Jeff's America audience, guys, please share this broadcast when you hear it. Share it on all your social media. You never know who may need to hear it right now. And you guys can find Jess and Sean at theconfidentmarriage.com. Where else can they find you guys' stuff, guys? Social media, all that. Where else can they look for you?
Facebook, The Confident Marriage, Twitter, The C Marriage Show, and Instagram, The Confident Marriage. We're on all of it.
Guys, you heard it here first. The Confident Marriage. Jess and Sean Weeks, awesome couple. Thanks so much for spending time with us. Be sure to check out their latest, I believe, is episode 16, which is the second part of a two-parter. So you might want to listen to 15 first. Spoiler alert. It's called Healing When Your Spouse Has Had an Affair. You can come back from that. And so I encourage you to Listen and subscribe to their podcast. Check out their website. It's everything that you need to get in contact with them. If you haven't written down notes, it's going to be in the show notes of this program. We encourage you to share it, and we encourage you to get in contact with them, subscribe to their stuff, and we certainly appreciate them being with us today. Thank you, guys. You guys are amazing. Good luck on your project, and the best to you. Be well. Thanks again for coming.
Thank you for
Papa
having
Geoff.
us.
We appreciate it. We appreciate your time, and we had fun.
Yeah, this was awesome.
I'm glad. Thank you so much. Guys, you're listening to the Papa Jeff's America program on the OG Radio Network. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Thank you for joining us today for the Papa Jeff's America program. Check out more episodes of our podcast at papajeffusa.com. You can subscribe through the link on our website or wherever you get your podcasts. We're on all the major platforms. papajeffusa.com is your home for Papa Jeff's America. While you're there, you can check out more episodes of the broadcast, check out the OG Corner, get in contact with us, and you can even link to all of our social media. Please share our broadcast on all of your social media because sharing is caring. And if you would like to help us keep our broadcast content free, please click on the Buy Me a Coffee link. You know how much Papa Geoff loves his coffee. And while we're on the subject of you, we want to hear from you. Your thoughts and comments and suggestions are what make this program go. Send us an email at our website, papajeffusa.com, or you can text us at area code 281-940-6980. Message and data rates may apply. Remember to wear that mask. Stay home if you can. Practice social distancing. Wash your hands frequently. And let's all take care of each other. Remember, disagree doesn't mean dislike. We're all in this together. Thanks again for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you next time when we continue the conversation, one podcast at a time.